know you have always dreamed of performing in Carnegie Hall, so I think this 2023 to 2024 season at Sound Espressivo will be perfect for you. As a platform, we host live online auditions so you can share your music with the entire world. Then we send you to incredible in-person venues like Carnegie Hall so you can perform solo, as a duo, as an ensemble, and with orchestra. This year we have a total of 4 gala events at Carnegie Hall, as well as 4 different opportunities to perform with orchestras in the US, in the Czech Republic, and even in Egypt. We want to help you fulfill your musical dreams. Go to soundespressivocompetition.com to check out our season and
perform on our galas at Carnegie Hall. Our new season of auditions for classical musicians is now available. Performance opportunities for students, young professionals, and seasoned artists. Perform as a soloist or chamber ensemble at Carnegie Hall. Form a concerto with the New York Chamber Players at Carnegie Hall. Composers submit their works to be premiered at Carnegie Hall. New this season, laureate ensembles at Carnegie Hall. Audition to be part of a 3-day intensive workshop directed by some of the world's master musicians, culminating with a performance at Carnegie Hall. Audition live from the comfort of your own home. Get live evaluations from expert judges and expand your online presence through our international internet broadcasts. Additional award and performance opportunities are also available. Visit our website for full details. Don't miss out on these wonderful opportunities to advance as a musician and perform on a world-renowned stage. We look forward to hearing your performances.
Delighted to have Peter Dixon Lopez in the studio with us today. And Peter, welcome to our studio. You had a world premiere last night at Carnegie for solo piano. Tell us about that piece.
Yes, so this piece is the first part of a larger piece. I call the total piece Emmanuel Variations, and the first part of it that was performed as a prelude. It's about 8 minutes long and very fluid and flowing, almost like a harp type of thing, with a middle section that's a little bit slower, and then returning to all these arabesques of arpeggiated figures up and down the keyboard. The idea of the Emmanuel Variations, it departs from the, I guess one would say, the traditional or expected way that variations are understood in 2 ways. Number one, the musical material is not based on a musical theme, so to speak, and which the various, quote, variations are based on. Secondly, the so-called variations are not called variation 1, 2, 3, or 4. They're called, I name them according to a certain emotional or spiritual type of feeling. The idea of the Emmanuel Variations is basically the subject, the theme really is the impressions, the glimpses, the feelings, the contemplations of myself as an individual, and perhaps as a point of departure for other people who might listen to the piece, contemplating the life of Jesus. And in this sense, it's somewhat similar to Messiaen's 20 Regards, except that his work contemplates the Christ child, and I'm looking at trying to explore a larger spiritual domain. So that's the idea behind the piece. The gist of the idea is that there are many faces of well, Emmanuel basically means God with us. That's the original or often understood meaning of the term. And so in a general sense, this could relate to many people, I guess, of many beliefs. The idea of the God that of the Old and the New Testament, they're very different. And so I'm kind of trying to explore and bring together some of those contrasts and differences between the God of the Old Testament and the God of the New Testament. So as an example, in the music itself, in the prelude, I present a dialectic of contrasting emotions. There's some very, it begins with a very peaceful, almost transcendental, flowing, almost unaware of time itself, and which is intentional. And then there are other places in the piece where there's very dramatic and dynamic, but it's like things that happen almost in a from my mind, almost a stream of consciousness a way of looking at things. As a matter of fact, it reflects the way I work with this particular piece is more like a stream of consciousness, sort of an improvisational approach where the motivic connections and quote form and formal connections are not really at the forefront of what I'm thinking about, but at the same time, through, I don't know how it works, but through how I work through the process, certain aspects of connections and unity, and they just kind of come out. And so that's, rather than forcing something like that, I've learned over the years to just let that happen, and it seems to work. When I was a younger composer, I was very focused on the technical things, and now of composition, and now I'm much more focused on the inner part of what the music is expressing, and not so much the materials themselves.
Have you written any purely religious music, the settings of text, religious texts?
Well, interesting. I have actually recently written started to, but I think it's completed, a Magnificat, and that's the only one that I have done, other than the very first piece, the major piece that I've done, which is based on the poem by D.H. Lawrence, Ship of Death. And the Ship of Death really is about life and not death, because it's a vision of the reality and promise of rebirth and resurrection. And I remember the conductor. You may actually know the conductor, because we were in Berkeley at the time. Robert Hughes.
I know the name.
Yeah, you know. Okay, so he was the conductor, and he came to me while we were at one point while we were working on this. Why did you pick such a dreadful topic? You're so young, and why do you think about death? And I don't think I quite explained it properly to him, but I know that it's not so much about death, but it's about a cycle of rebirth and renewal. That's what the whole thing is. And so from that point of view, it's not liturgically religious, but it is spiritual. So I think of what I'm trying to express is more inner feelings, spirituality, rather than liturgically religious. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, yeah. And will our people watching this be able to see your music or hear it on YouTube and Spotify? Have you had recordings?
Well, I do have recordings. This piece has not been recorded to be released on digitally. I do have other works that are not specifically thought of as in the same mode as the Emmanuel Variations, but that same theme of purpose and focus does apply to all that I do. And so there are pieces that have recently been released by PARMA, by Navona, on the Navona record label, by PARMA. There's another solo piano piece recently in January was released, and the pianist, a wonderful pianist, Anna Kislitsyna, and she did a beautiful job. They've also released, or in the process of releasing, they've already recorded, but also haven't released yet, but are in the process of doing all that work on 2 orchestra pieces that I've written, 2 of several of a larger work, which I call A Song of 13 Moons. And the first piece is an adagio, and the third movement is what I call a serenade. Mm-hmm. And so the idea of the Song of 13 Moons is, so this gives you an idea of, what my thought process is and what inspires me, and it's basically all personal. I was rummaging through records, just personal papers, whatever, how you clean up, or you're trying to organize or do this, and I came across a paper that my son did in let's see, elementary or middle school or something like that. I think it was elementary school, and it was called The 13 Moons, and the project was to write a picture and write a poem based on different types of moons. And so things like the harvest moon.
Right. Go ahead.
Harvest moon, and maybe the full moon, or different types of moons. So that kind of got me thinking about the times. I was going back in time, thinking about all this. And so I was reflecting not so much on the moons itself, but on the fact that seeing this little project triggered emotions and feelings of having time with our son, my son Perrin, and also my wife Irene at that time. So I proceeded to write a number of pieces that reflects those feelings of both longing and also love and just many different things.
I don't know if people can see this, but what made you, when you talk about the moons, I just got this picture.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever seen anything like that?
I've never seen anything, but I love the heart.
Isn't that incredible?
That's incredible. Did you do that?
No, but it took the photographer 10 years to capture these moons.
Oh, my goodness.
Those are all moons.
Oh, those are all in different...
Yes.
You know,
Isn't that amazing?
it's amazing. I've never seen that.
Would you like to have it?
Oh, yeah, I love it.
Here, I'll send it to you. 10 years.
Wow, 10 years. Wow, there's a lot. There are more than 13 moons there, and over 10 years, he must have been seeing a lot of moons.
That's right, yeah. Well, I want to thank you for coming by, and I'm very eager to hear more of your music. I heard it the other night, but now we can go and take a listen on various streaming platforms, and it seems very beautiful, and I hope people will listen, and I wish you the best of luck in your future compositions.
Well, very, very much. Thank you very so much. I'm very honored. Thank you. This is coming along in terms of bringing out those, I would say, emphasized notes, whether they're accent, fortepiano, or whatever. And there are a few details here and there where they don't come out, and I understand that. One thing I do really like very much also is with the second violin, and also duet there on bar 48 with the violin 2 and the viola, this kind of martial rhythm. It's the only thing that's rhythmically motivated throughout the piece. And it kind of sticks out like a sore thumb, and that's okay. It's supposed to. So really, I like that. That's kind of different in terms of the texture. The little swells are fine, but this is particularly, I think, probably very difficult to do. So I could be asking if possible, but on bar 72, the violin 2, viola, cello, they have this, again, this accented note, but it comes up extremely fast. But again, the key thing is the D sharp and the violin 2, the F sharp and the viola, and then a beat later of the D natural and the cello. Again, this is motivic, and the only thing that's going to bring that out is really give that a good bow, a down bow. And again, I don't know if that's possible to do, to bring that out, because it comes in so fast. It's not held. No, I think this is beautiful. It's working just wonderfully.
Awesome. Peter, thanks for coming in. Thank you on this.
And thank you to everyone. You're just awesome. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No matter where you are or who you are, music connects us all. We started with a dream, but now we are paving the future. Welcome to the Sound Expressiva Global Competition. Fully virtual, yet bringing musicians closer together than ever before, now on a global scale. True live, inclusivity, diversity, connection, community, an extraordinary array of judges. Get noticed by companies all over the world. Prizes, scholarships, performance opportunities. Apply to be a part of the most exciting congregation of artists like nothing you've ever seen before. We guarantee quality and leave no musician behind. We can't wait to hear you on the virtual stage.
Perform on our galas at Carnegie Hall. Our new season of auditions for classical musicians is now available. Performance opportunities for students, young professionals, and seasoned artists. Perform as a soloist or chamber ensemble at Carnegie Hall. Perform a concerto with the New York Chamber Players at Carnegie Hall. Composers submit their works to be premiered at Carnegie Hall. New this season, Laureate ensembles at Carnegie Hall. Audition to be part of a 3-day intensive workshop directed by some of the world's master musicians, culminating with a performance at Carnegie Hall. Audition live from the comfort of your own home. Get live evaluations from expert judges and expand your online presence through our international internet broadcasts. Additional award and performance opportunities are also available. Visit our website for full details. Don't miss out on these wonderful opportunities to advance as a musician and perform on a world-renowned stage. We look forward to hearing your performances.